Okay guys, welcome back to this next tutorial. I think this is lesson 10. The goal for this tutorial is to get you to reproduce this conical kind of shaped piece of Lego. It appears on the end of, I'm going to call this the blaster on my Lego Snowspeeder. You might have something similar. So I'm going to teach you the process about how you might go about creating such an item. All right, so I'm just going to go over and start, File, New Design. And the first thing I'll need to tell you is some of the dimensions of the different sizes of the blaster head. So I'll tell you as we go through, but basically this bottom circular section here is a diameter of 6.5, diameter of 7.8, diameter of 5 and 5. How did I know those sizes? Well, I had to get my vernier calipers, the digital vernier calipers, measure those sizes, and I had to record those sizes on a sketch so that I could reproduce this accurately and not have to go back and measure everything all the time. I also had to measure this depth here with the depth gauge on the calipers, and also the internal dimensions from the internal of this hole, if you like, or the shell all the way through as well. All right, so back to my untitled, and I'm also going to start off by saying I'm going to draw this cylindrical section here first. Then we're going to put a conical shape and then another cylinder on top. That's the workflow of how we go about it. All right, so first of all, let's start this new one. Let's save it. And I'm going to call this one Blaster Demo. And click on Save. Let's go back to Fusion there. It's playing a little bit. There we go. And then I'm going to put a sketch onto one of these planes to start with. So I'm going to assume that the blaster is kind of sitting in a vertical position. So I'm going to start the first circle for the base of the blaster on this base plane. So click onto the base plane. Then I'm going to draw myself a circle from the center to a diameter of 6.5. Enter. And I'm going to accept that as being the only geometry I need to draw for that first cylinder. Click on Finish Sketch. Might just go to the home view here to go 3D. And I'm going to extrude this up for the bottom part of the blaster. So the distance for extruding is 2 mil. I can click on Extrude first, then drag that up a distance of 2 millimeters or type it in. You'll see here it comes up with new body because it's the first thing that we're doing for this actual project. Click on OK. So we've got the base part drawn, as you can see here. The next part is to draw the conical section from this diameter to this diameter here. So to do that, the workflow is we're going to draw this circular diameter on a sketch on top of the cylinder there. And then we're going to use a tool where we're going to create a new work plane, the correct vertical distance between the two profiles. And we'll draw a profile up onto this one, and then we'll join the two of them together with what we'll call a lofting command. If that made no sense, just watch this and repeat with me. All right, so first of all, choose the top of the cylinder, select it, create sketch, and we're going to put a circle on here from the center out, and this needs to be a diameter of 7.8. Once again, I got that from measuring with my calipers. Hit enter, and if we just spin that, you can see there's that first sketch. Now at this point, I'm just going to leave that, so I'm going to finish that sketch. If it disappears from view, remember you can always expand the sketches here and turn sketches on and off. If you don't use the sketch for anything, it tends to stay visible. All right, so the next thing we need this other circle, this other profile up here. And I can tell you that the distance, if I was to turn this front on, the distance from this sketch to the next sketch, which is that height of that conical piece, is 8 millimeters. So what I need to do is to put a plane in between here and 8 millimeters. So just click on the little construct text here. And here's all the thousands of, well, not thousands, here's lots of different ways that you can insert different planes. Once you put a plane there, you can then put that sketch onto that plane. It's a bit like sort of saying, well, I'm going to create or place a piece of paper up here, and then I can draw that sketch onto that piece of paper. So the first one that I'm going to use is offset plane. I can click on offset plane. I then click onto the plane that I wish to offset from. So not the base plane, but this one here. And you can see then it's asking, well, how far away from this plane do you want the next plane? So I'll drag this up, and the distance, if you measured it with the calipers, happens to be 8 millimeters. I hit enter or OK, either one. And I'll just shift, you can see there's that yellow plane, unused at the moment, sitting up there above this sketch. Now when you put a plane in, it then creates this, if it's not already there, this sort of list. Expand that and you can see that is actually plane number 1. I can turn that off, I can turn that back on. Alright, so I'm going to put a sketch on here, and I'm going to put a circle directly above the center of the first one, but its diameter is going to be 5. So go to sketch, select the plane. This one here is the one you want to draw on. It spins it around. C for circle. Use the same snap center point. Click once, drag out fraction, type in 5 and hit enter. We'll just turn that side on so you can see what's happened. Okay, you can see there now I've got two profiles, one drawn up here and one drawn down there. That's what I'm after, so I'm going to click Finish Sketch. And then we're going to use a tool called Loft. And you can see here in the preview, it creates a transitional shape between two or more sketch profiles or planar faces. So let's click on Loft. Where are you? There it is. And this dialog box comes up. The first thing it's asking you for, well, where are the profiles that you want to loft between? So if you click on the little arrow there, select the top one, and you see it stores profile 1. Click on the plus symbol, and then click onto the bottom one, on the outside edge there. Oh, I think I got it. There it is there. And you can see now it's jumped to the outside edge. If you made a mistake, you can just simply select the one you want to get rid of and click on the cross. Go right back to selecting nothing. I'll try that again. Select profile. I'll do the bottom one this time first. Then I'll do the top one. I'll click on plus. And you can see now that lofting between those two profiles. Okay, so that's really simple as that. Don't worry about guide, type or Rails. All this should be pretty much set, and it should guess that it wants to join this extrusion or this loft to the existing one. Click on OK, and let's have a look. Yep, that's good. And the last thing to do then is to simply put another cylinder on top here. So let's select that top surface, select sketch, C for circle, and this one needs to be exactly the same diameter. And in actual fact, I don't need to draw this again. I can use that same sketch. So I'm going to jump out of that actually. Just going to escape out of that and say Finish Sketch. So if we have a look back here, that was the sketch. And you can see all these sketches except for the last one are turned off. So the last one there, which I think I just created, which I shouldn't have. So I'm just going to delete that one. If I can, it lets me. No, it's not being very nice to me. There we go. So there's my 3 sketches. You can see 1, 2, and 3. And I used that sketch to go between this bottom profile and that profile. I can use this sketch again, provided I turn it on, for the last extrusion. So if I select that sketch, you see it there, I can select it like so, or I can select it down here in the timeline. Click on the extrude button. Oh, it's asking me to select it again. Okay, we'll do it again. And then drag it up the necessary distance, which in this case is 1.6. Check that it says join. Click OK. That's good. And then the last thing to do is to shell the whole thing out. Now with this one, we're going to remove the shell from the top and the bottom. So what I'll do here is I'll select the bottom surface. I might just turn these sketches off now. I'll select this bottom surface, it turns blue. I'm going to click on the shell tool. And this time though, the shell's not 1.45, it's actually 0.75 if my memory serves me correct. Yep, 0.75. And if I spin that around, you can see it still hasn't hollowed out the top. So what I'll do now is holding the shift key down where it says one selected. I'm also going to select, hopefully, that top surface. Oh, I think I needed to do that before I actually did put the numbers in. So I'm just going to cancel that, try that again. Select the top surface, rotate, hold down shift, select the bottom surface. Now both surfaces are selected. Yep. Click on shell, type in the distance 0.75, and now you can see it's removed the top and the bottom surface from the shell. Good. Click on OK, and your blaster head or conical shape is now finished. So the main thing there I wanted you to realize was how to use the lofting command to go between two profiles, and also how to use the offset plane command to create that plane out there so you can actually draw it out there in space. Okay, have we got that one, people? And we'll do the drawing for that fairly soon as well.